I've lived in this house for 7 years, long enough to memorize every corner, every creak, every stubborn drawer, and every annoying sound the pipes make at 3 a.m. That's why when I walked into the hallway on Tuesday morning and saw a basement door, I froze so hard my muscles locked. Because my house doesn't have a basement. The hallway between the kitchen and living room has always been a straight wall, no doors, no frames, nothing except a tacky painting of sunflowers my late aunt gave me. But the painting was gone now. In its place stood a wooden door, old, wet-looking, swollen, like it had been pulled from the depths of a lake. For a moment, I thought I was dreaming. I touched the wall around it, solid, real. My heart hammered against my ribs. I backed away from the door. What the hell? I said it out loud because the silence in the house felt too heavy to keep thoughts inside my head. Then something else made my skin crawl. The doorknob slowly turned on its own. I bolted out of the house so fast I nearly tore the screen door off its hinges. I didn't go to work that day. I drove around until I calmed down, or pretended I did. When I returned home around 5 p.m., the door was still there. Part of me hoped it would disappear the way it appeared. But no. Worse, the doorknob was now turned downward, like it was waiting for me to finish opening it. My hands shook. Something inside that basement-y wanted me to come in. I grabbed a hammer from the toolbox, pushed the door open with the handle, and stepped back. Cold air spilled out. Not cold like winter, cold like a morgue. A heavy, wet smell slithered out. Rotting wood, rotting something. The stairway inside was drenched in darkness so thick it felt alive. I flicked the light switch on the wall beside the door. Nothing. The bulb didn't even try. Okay. Nope, I muttered, slamming the door shut, or trying to. The moment the door touched the frame, something pushed back from the inside. Not hard, not aggressive, like a polite suggestion. Don't close this. I let go, and the door slowly drifted open again by an inch. I didn't sleep in the house that night. On Wednesday morning, I returned half expecting the door to be gone, but now there was something new. Footprints. Small, dirt-covered footprints leading from the basement door through the hallway and into the living room. Bare feet. Not mine. They were too small, like a child's. I followed them with a trembling stomach. They circled the couch, went behind the armchair, stopped at the window, then disappeared. I swallowed hard. There were no kids in this neighborhood. No one had broken in. I checked. But what terrified me most wasn't the footprints. It was the fact that the door to the basement was now wide open. Pitch black. Waiting. Something wanted me to go down there. And for reasons I still don't understand, I grabbed my flashlight and stepped inside. The first step creaked like dry bone. The air felt thick like a swamp pressed into the shape of a staircase. I swept my flashlight around. Rotting beams, walls slick with moisture, no cobwebs, no dust. As if the basement was brand new. Halfway down, the door behind me slammed shut. I nearly fell. Hello? My voice came back warped, like the darkness chewed it before sending it back. I continued downward. The stairs felt endless. My phone buzzed in my pocket, a notification ping. I pulled it out. A new photo, sent to me. From my number. I opened it, and my stomach dropped. It was a picture of me, taken from behind, on the staircase. Right now, someone was behind me. I spun around, shining the flashlight upward. Nothing, but the stairs behind me looked different, older, rotten, like they'd been there for decades. I kept descending. What else could I do? Finally, I reached the bottom floor. The basement was enormous, too big to fit under my house. It stretched out into darkness like an underground world. My flashlight caught something on the ground. A toy. A little wooden train. It looked familiar, exactly like the one I had as a kid. I picked it up and flipped it over. My name was carved underneath it. Not printed. Carved with something sharp. My hands went numb. Footsteps echoed behind me. I froze. Didn't breathe. Didn't move. The footsteps were small, slow, deliberate, like a child walking barefoot. I turned around. A figure stood near the base of the stairs. A small figure. A little boy. Head tilted. Eyes hollow like wet pits of dirt. He raised his hand. Something dangled from his fingers. A toy, identical to the train I was holding. He whispered, "You left me down here." My blood ran ice cold. I stepped back. I don't know you," I stammered. He tilted his head again further than any human neck should bend. His voice deepened, layered with many voices. "You will." Then he ran at me. Fast. Too fast. I bolted into the dark, my flashlight bouncing wildly. The basement twisted like a maze rooms growing from nothing, hallways shifting. Sometimes the boy's laughter echoed ahead of me, sometimes behind. Once, right next to my ear, I found a door and threw myself through it, slamming it shut. Something hit the other side. Once, twice, then scratched. Slowly, purposefully, I scanned the room. A single hanging bulb flickered overhead. Under it, a table. On the table, photos. Hundreds of photos. All of me. Sleeping, eating, showering, working, driving. And in every photo, in the background, hidden in corners, behind curtains, the boy was there, watching me. My scream died in my throat. One picture was different. A baby me sitting on a basement floor. The same basement floor. My young mother stood behind me, terrified, dragging me away. Lil, a shadowy figure. The boy stood in the darkness behind her. Written on the corner, in shaky handwriting, "Don't ever open the door again." I didn't remember this, but my mother, she died when I was young, and she never talked about our first home. Something pounded on the door behind me. Harder, faster. The boy whispered through the wood, "You came back for me." I threw myself into the hallway and ran. The basement groaned, walls shifted, lights popped. The boy appeared ahead of me, crawling on the ceiling, limbs bending wrong. I turned and sprinted toward the stairs. They were miles away now. Impossible. He dropped from the ceiling like a spider. I stumbled back. He crawled toward. I woke up back in my hallway, lying on the floor. The basement door closed beside me. No footprints, no rotten smell, just silence. For one precious second, I thought it was over. Then I saw it, carved into the doorframe with something sharp. "See you tonight." The doorknob slowly turned on its own again. This time, I didn't run, because something whispered behind me, a voice identical to mine. "Don't bother running. He already knows where you sleep." The last thing I remember is the basement door swinging open, and small, non-hands pulling me inside. A shadowy figure, the boy stood in the darkness behind her. Number, written on the corner, in covered hands pulling me inside. I don't know how long I've been down here. There's no light, no exit, only scratching in the dark. I think he's still beside me, smiling, waiting for yacht basement door 2. If your house non-P have a basement, it will. 007. Okay friends, if you have any horror story, please send me, please subscribe, like, comment, and share, please. THTS.